What's up YouTube? My name's Quickie, welcome back to the channel. I've just found a blinder, you're going to love this. If this has been done on purpose, the man is a genius. I've just rebuilt all the brake master cylinders. I've just started putting it all back together again, going through and checking the electrics is all works. I've got the headlamp, various other bits and pieces to sort out. So back brake comes on fine, brake light, front brake. That's awesome. If this has been done on purpose, I am fitting it to Steve-O's bike. He is gonna love it. Let's see what's going on. Oh, I ain't got a clue. Hang on. What do we check for? Okay, let's see. Well, the switch is obviously working because the horn comes on. Right, let's see what's what. Let's pull this off. Oh, hello. Well, one of the wires has just come off. Look. Yeah, I wonder if it still works. No. Right. We've obviously got issues there. And that one's come off as well. Genius. Well, they need to be remade then. Yeah. Right, you're perched up on top again, so I do apologise if you fall off. Let's trim these up a little bit. Just want to remake these connectors to the brake switch because they do look a little bit ropey. Alright, not soldering it straight on or anything else like that because I want to be able to get them off, but I only got these little, you know, the little quick connectors and stuff. I hate these because once you crimp them, all the plastic goes bleh, and it's all chewed up and everything else. So basically I'll just pull the shrouding off. So you've just got the metal bit inside. Actually, we'll have him. And then just remake my own sleeves and stuff. So if we spread these wires over the shroud. Only reason I do this is because it's sometimes I find like you shove these wires in those little connectors and the wires are quite skinny, and as you're crimping it up it kind of all bunches up. If you do it on the outside of the shroud you just get a bit of a better connection. I haven't got any of the real skinny heat shrink, but hopefully this stuff will do. So he can go on there and then he can go on the end. Come on. There we go. So that way it's just, you know, the wire's just a little bit thicker for when you crimp it. Just give him a squeeze. Right, so he's not going anywhere. Where's my lighter gone? There we go. I'll move the heat shrink up over top of the connector. Come on. Oh, he's snug, isn't he? I don't think a little bit would have gone on. There we go, he's on. And then just shrink it. Again, there's all different ways of doing this. I'm not teaching you anything, I'm not telling you this is how you should do it, this is just the way that I do it. Right, so he's on. Let's do the other one. Right, let's check that again. Right. Right, so we've obviously got problems further down in here then. Actually, yeah, the back one still works. Right. So, where's my book of words? So now, as far as I can tell, it's just going to be a case of chasing it down, seeing where the wires goes. We've obviously got a short or a split in it somewhere. Front brake switch. Into a connector. So it's also hooked up to the horn. And then it shares an earth with the rear brake switch, the tail light, blah, 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 blah. Right, there is something funny going on with the loom, so I need to get in the back of this and find out what on earth is going on. Right, we found the problem, why the horn was going off. This cable here, I don't know if you can see it, comes around here. It's this one, goes into this connector here, which then snakes up and it goes into another connector and then into the main loom. Add this apart just because it looked a bit ropey, and one of the pins to the wire just fell straight out the back of it. So I remade that and that's all good. However, we've still got a problem with the switch. So if I disconnect the wires and just touch them together, sort of getting rid of the switch. Come on. Oh, the brake light did come on. Why is it not coming on now? Brake light comes on. Oh, come on. Right, we've got volts across there. 20 volts. Stick him in. It was working. What's going on? Shove him in there. Yes, we've got volts. And I did just touch these together and the light came on, but it's not coming on now. That's annoying. Have I got something funny going on up here then? Right. Well, we stop the horn. Let's just check the switch again. Because that did work a second ago. No, dingleberry. So our switch is fine. Switch is fine. We've got volts coming out of there. I mean, it's jinking about a bit, it has to be set. There we go, volts. So, Oh, it's all steady. Well, I can go back on there then. We know that that's okay. Right, so they're on. Still nothing. Tail light comes on. Right. Ah, the plot thickens. Ah! Another stupid little connector here. Oh, and it's totally not the same colours and stuff on here. Let me show you. Right, so I've just pulled all the wiring out the side of it. I'm not sure how much you're going to be able to see. This connector here, as I pulled the wiring out, it just fell apart. Yeah, it's just one of those little bullet connector jobbies. It wasn't pushed all the way in, it's fallen apart. So it wasn't connected in the first place anyway. I've just hooked it back up again and my front brake light is working. Or, you know, the brake light from the front, for the front brake. So we're going to have him apart and see quite what's what, because that's just a, you know, it should go through this connector, I think. There aren't enough pins in it, and it's just, I don't know if that's like an aftermarket thing or someone's just been monkeying, but that's what the problem is. But we have a brake light, which is awesome. Right, so I've just had the got the nasty indicators off these headlamp brackets. These headlamp brackets were on the other way, which was wrong because it was too narrow, and the clamps were all sort of pointed in and everything else. So I'm hoping these are going to fit. But what we'll do is we'll just stick it on loose for now. Come on. Oh, hello. Oh no, alright, alright. I'll just check and see if that sort of lines up, which it does, so that's all cool. And then the nasty indicators can go back on, so this was the right one. Oh, I'm only sticking them on loose for now. The annoying thing is I've run out of little spade connectors or bullet connectors. So for now, I do have a connector kit coming. So for now I'm just going to crimp these on with some of those joiners. So it's sort of hardwired in, but when the connectors come I can put a two-way connector on these and do the job properly. And we'll put some heat shrink on it and blah blah blah. I just want to get stuff on and where it needs to be, so I've got something to aim at, and we should be alright, I think. That can go on there. These really are nasty. Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to have to go back and redo all this when the connectors come. But the idea is I should be able to get this back onto the bike. We'll have this connector here off. It might even be the same as the ones that's coming, but I just want to hook everything up so I know it all works and it's all good. I'll just do it temporary for now. And then when the connectors come, I can do the job properly and squirrel it away, and I know that that's just another job done. But I want to get it checked. So that's what I'm doing. So they can come off. Do I do that now? Yeah, let's do that now. Right. Right. Right, I'll do. Right, this is only temporary for now, so I don't care if it looks like a turd. Because it's gonna, I hate these connectors, they're so nasty. But once you crimp them, all the plastic just kind of deforms and it's just horrible. Right, so that's one. But these will just get chopped off and I'll prop the connector, so. He's on. Right, so that's all squirreled away. So I've got the battery on charge as well because I'm killing it. So a little bit of lurk, that should be running light, yes. Lights on, so that's low beam, and that's main beam. Sweet! And what a stupid light it is as well. I don't like it, but it'll get me through an MOT. Right, I haven't wired up the indicators. I know they work. I've got the wires here. I just need to hook them together when the connectors come. This lot is just joined with those inline crimp sort of connectors because I've just run out. So again, when the connector kit comes, I'll just get a four-way connector. That actually I might even hook the indicators in with it as well. I don't really know. No, I'll probably leave them separate. So I'll do a four-way for that one, two-way for each of the indicators, and that way I've got proper connectors. But that's all on. What else we got? So the brake lights work front and rear. Having a giraffe. What the fuck? Is it that bloody stupid connector again? Right, he needs to be remade. Where is he? Yeah, he needs to be remade. Right, need another connector for that then. Well, actually, do I just splice it together? I could just join it. Well, I'm just doing. Oh, just joining it then. Right. Oh yeah, I might have cocked up. A couple of people, Brian Pinn, he spotted it, and there's a couple of others as well chipped in on the comments. But when I was building the master cylinder on the front brake, I might have picked up the old spring and cap and shoved that in instead of the new one. This is the one that I've got left, and to be fair, it doesn't look new. I know I covered the new one in grease and rubber grease and everything else. This one ain't got any grease on it. And it does have a couple of little marks and stuff on it, like little nicks, and yeah, it just don't look new to me. But I might have done that. There's a lesson to be learned there. Keep your new bits and your old bits separate. And I didn't do that. So, right, so this is the seat unit off Gixxit, and it's this bit that I need to remake. That needs to go on here on my seat. We did chomp this down a little bit, but essentially all it is, the plate is going to come across here. It's going to have two holes to mount onto here. I've got the bushes, the rubber bushes and everything else that goes on this. It's going to have a hole in the middle, which is where the spring for the seat release goes. And then we just need a couple of pegs on here with a couple of notches to engage in the catch. So that's it, that's what we're making. I have got some of this stuff. Just some box sections. I've cleaned it up a little bit. But the idea is I can use a chunk of that. I'll trim it down the edges here because obviously we want to have a lip on it to try and give it a little bit of strength. So we can get that done. And it shouldn't be too hard to make actually, I don't think. So, 2, 1, 5. Right. Right then. Okay, so if we mark a centre line on this, there. Yep. That'll do. 40 mil, so 20 is there. I'll give that a centre pop if I can find it, and put a hole in it. Where did that go? Is that it? Yeah, that could be it. Right. Nothing to start off with. Right, ideally that would have the edges kind of burred out on it, you know, like a dimple die type thing, just because it gives it a whole truckload full of strength. Unfortunately I haven't got any dimple dies. Right, so how big do my calipers go? Probably not big enough. No. Oh, right, okay. So there's my centre point. So 179 divided by 2, so what's that? 89.5. So come on. Right, so 89.5. Um, $89.5. And we just want the halfway point. So it's 40mm box section. $20mm. Right, so there's the mounting holes. Give them a dink and drill them out. That'll do. It's not exactly precision engineering, but it's nice to try and get stuff right. The other thing I'm doing is I'm drilling all my holes whilst it's all together as a box section. Just it gives me more to clamp onto in the vise in the pillar drill, and I can get the holes nice and square and everything else. The other thing that we're going to do is this 10mm. It is 10mm. Yes, it is. Just had a horrible thought then for a sec. But what we're going to do is scribe a line between the two of these, because I want to get the location for these as well. What I'm probably going to end up doing is drilling a 10mm hole, sticking the bar through it, and then I'll tack it all in place and weld it up. But I want all this to be in line, obviously. Grubby fingers, they work a treat for this. Right, so on this one, I don't know how much you can see, I am sorry. Can you see that? No. I'll do. So an easy way of finding your centres on stuff like this. We know that these are, I think they should be, yeah, 10mm, right? So if you was to measure outside to outside, like that, so 129.3 call it, take 10mm off, that will give you the, you know, because obviously the thickness of one of these, that will give you the centre to centre. And then you can just, you know, translate that onto the piece that you're working. So yeah, 129.3 we'll call that. Got my holes drilled. First things first, does it fit? Yes, it does. Awesome. And does that go over the spring? Yes, it does. Sweet. Like I say, really I would like to dimple that, but I don't think I've got anything that will do the job. I could really do with a hydraulic press at some point. And some dimple dies. Right, so now all I want to do is to mark it up and give it a little bit of a lip, just so I've got something to follow to cut it to. So if we go about there, 33mm, something like that. Where's my pen? And the only reason I'm leaving this lip in place when I trim it down is just to give it a bit of strength. If it was just a flat piece of metal, you'd be able to bend it and all sorts, whereas if you leave a little lip on the edge of it, like the stock one had, you instantly get some strength into it, which is really good. It's not going to be under any great loading, but I really don't want anything flexing either, so we're just going to do that. If I need to shave this down a bit once we get it on, fine, really not a problem. There we go. Right, angle grinder. going to be able to see all this. I've made some, where are we? Made some little pegs. So these are just like the hooky bits that he's going to catch on the catch. Just chomp through that with a grinder and then with a flap disc. Just put that angle on it. Rounded over the edges so it goes into the guide okay. And now I just need to get them stuck onto this plate. So, can you see this? Yeah. It does look a little bit Heath Robinson, I get that, but this should work all right. So, come on, focus, do something. There we go. Right, so the tower on the right is just spacing, and I've got a big old block on the top just to keep it all down level. Then we've got a peg sitting in a 10mm socket, just basically acting as a guide. And from the underside of this plate to the top is 5mm, which basically should line us up with the original one that was on Steve-O's. There is a bit of wiggle room as far as height adjustment on the seat goes, but that's how we're going to do it. All I want to do is to get some tacks on this, so we're just going to stick a couple one either side, put the other peg in the other end, and then we'll try it into the catch and see if it actually works. It does look a bit Heath Robinson, I get that, and sockets aren't really meant for this, but it's not bad as far as guides go, just to try and keep everything straight and level. So that's it, welding time. Right, so I've just tacked them on basically. See if it fits. Oh yes, that'll do. Happy days with that. There is some wiggle room on the bottom of the seat. Essentially I can wind it up and down on these rubber mounts. There are bushings and stuff that go underneath these. We'll dig those out in a sec, get it mounted, jobs are good. And so at least I've got a seat, and then I've got something to aim all the loose and floppy bodywork at. That was easy enough. Right, hopefully this is all just going to go on. Ooh, got a couple of extra bolts. I think they're for the body panel, I'll leave them there. Right, so this should just fit. It hasn't got the boot at the front, so it is going to be loose at the front, I know that, but this should do that and not come off. No, it doesn't. It is wobbling about a bit, but it's the front. The back of it isn't. It's all nice and solid. So that's all right. I'm happy with that. That'll do. And then once we get the front on and it's all spaced up a little bit, that'll grab on nice. Sweet. Nearly there. Nearly there. Where's my stuff? Where's my goo? I'm always... Oh, here we go. That'll do. So yeah, glad we sorted out the electrics though, because that was, yeah, I couldn't do that. I could not have lived with that, and the MOT man definitely wouldn't have been very happy. I am tempted to stick it on Steve-O's bike though, do it on purpose and hide it. I'll have a little switch somewhere, I can just turn it on and they will never know. But anyway, yeah, we're getting real close actually. I'm quite pleased with this, quite pleased with progress. There really isn't that much more to do. Colour tune was supposed to be here today, but it ain't turned up. Mr. DPD hasn't sent me another chirpy little pic. So we're still waiting on him. But I couldn't really use that anyway, because I haven't got all the exhaust bits and pieces that I need from Steve-O. He's dropping his girls off on, what's today? Monday. He's dropping them off on Wednesday, and he's just going to throw exhaust bits at me as he drives past, because I don't want it if he's got it. Coronavirus, that is. In the exhaust bits, I'll have. But he's going to give us the exhaust odds and sods, and then I can start looking to fashion up my own exhaust. It's not going to be without issue though, because I've had a look at this collector. These inlets is bigger than my head is. but I don't even know if they're stock headers. There's a fella next door, he's got a Bandit, so I might go and measure them and just have a look, see, because it could well be that they're just off something random that this fella's stuck on it. He's done it with everything else, why wouldn't he have done it with the headers? Because he's obviously monkeyed with it. But once we get the exhaust, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire it up again. I'm going to richen it up because I think it's all stock jets because there's no numbers on them. So I've set it to stock as per the manual, but with that can it's definitely going to be too lean. So I'm going to richen it up a bit, help it run. So it'll probably thank me for that. And then we're going to measure this as if we was going to be doing a track day at Snetterton, for example, which is how I checked my fire blade out. Then we're going to shove that DB killer in the end of it after I've chopped a little bit off the end. And we're going to see if it makes any difference. Then I'm going to make my own exhaust if that's still too loud, and then we're just going to do it all again. But until I get the bits off Steve-O, I don't really know what I've got to work with. Hopefully it won't take too long. I need to get a splitter for the gas line because obviously it's stainless and I need to back purge it. But other than that, we've pretty much got all the gear that we need. It's just a case of putting time into it, really. I'm glad we got the stupid brake light horn thing worked. That was funny. I am tempted actually. I'm going to have a hidden little switch somewhere on Steve-O's bike and I can flick it and that's what it'll do. He'll never find it. That'll brighten his day. It will brighten his day, I'm sure of it. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it today. Thank you ever so much for joining us. I do hope you enjoy them. I'm doing my best to get out regular videos and stuff just to try and keep people entertained and keep myself sane, really. But yeah, I think we're getting real close to MOT time. I can still book it in. The fella's still open for business and that, so I just need to get it finished off, give him a call and we're in. Although I might have to have a little hoon up and down the yard on it first, especially with that pipe on it. But anyway, that's where I'm leaving it. Thank you ever so much for joining us. Do stay safe and look after yourselves, and we'll see you again next time. Laters!